The champagne flute shattered against the polished marble floor of the Tribeca penthouse, sending crystal shards scattering like jagged diamonds in every direction. The sharp crack echoed through the open-concept living area, cutting momentarily through the low hum of serious conversation among men dressed in tailored suits. But Min Jun Kang didn't flinch or pause. At 37 years old, he had heard far worse sounds in boardrooms and back alleys alike. Sounds of deals breaking, bones cracking, loyalties shattering. But something primal stirred when he caught a subtle flicker of movement through the arched doorway leading to the service corridor. There she was, the new housekeeper with smooth mahogany skin and movements as deliberate as a dancer avoiding landmines, kneeling carefully to gather the mess with gloved hands. She reached for a particularly large fragment, and her body betrayed her in that instant. A split-second tremor rippled through her frame, her full lips pressing into a thin line, her shoulders hunching just enough to reveal the pain she fought so hard to conceal. Most people in his orbit, associates, enforcers, even lovers, wouldn't have registered it. Most wouldn't have cared. But Min Jun registered everything. Noticing the invisible fractures in people and situations was how he had clawed his way to the top of New York's Korean syndicate at an age when others were still paying dues. Yet this fleeting glimpse of vulnerability in a woman he barely knew should not have pierced his focus. It should not have compelled him to set down his scotch and rise from the leather sectional, where two capos debated shipment routes from Busan. It should not have drawn him away from a negotiation worth 8 figures. But it did, pulling him like an unseen tether through the doorway and into the corridor where she worked alone. Her long-sleeved black uniform clinging despite the oppressive August humidity seeping through the climate-controlled air. Nia Reynolds had mastered the art of invisibility over her 27 years, gliding through elite Manhattan homes like a shadow. Essential yet unseen, competent yet forgettable. That was precisely how she wanted it now, especially after the hell she had fled 3 weeks earlier. The gleaming marble reflected her deep brown face briefly as she swept methodically, her thick natural curls pinned into a severe bun that allowed no rebellion. The uniform's high collar and sleeves hid the roadmap of bruises blooming across her collarbone and ribs, souvenirs from an ex who refused to accept over as final. "Mrs. Gang wants the East Wing spotless before tonight's dinner," Ji-yeon announced crisply, her Korean accent precise as she handed Nia fresh supplies. The head housekeep's eyes softened with unspoken concern. "You seem pale today, Nia. Everything all right?" The lie rolled off Nia's tongue, effortlessly, honed by years of practice. "I'm good, thanks. Just a long night." In truth, every inhale tugged at cracked ribs, a dull fire that worsened with movement, but she pushed through because this job paid enough to anchor her and her 7-year-old son Kai in their cramped Harlem walk-up, far from Marcus's reach. It covered Kai's after-school program, the rent hikes. The life raft she clung to after his final rage had sent her to the ER with excuses about slipping on wet stairs. Ji-yeon nodded, but lingered. "Mr. Kang is particular, but if you need time—" "I'm fine," Nia repeated, flashing a smile that never touched her guarded eyes. She wasn't fine, but survival meant pretending, meant stacking cleaning bottles like armor. The East Wing was Min Jun Kang's sanctum. Dark walnut paneling, floor-to-ceiling windows, framing the Hudson's glittering expanse. Shelves lined with leather-bound volumes in Korean and English, files she dusted without peeking. In 2 weeks on staff, she had glimpsed the owner thrice, each encounter under 10 seconds, tall, broad-shouldered, exuding the quiet menace of a panther in silk. Whispers among the crew painted him as connected, deeply, to ventures discussed in hushed tones, a man who owned shadows as surely as he owned this skyline view fortress. Nia started in the den, feather duster gliding over brass lamps, and a lone silver frame of stern elders she assumed were parents. When voices approached, rapid Korean laced with urgency, she froze mid-motion, blending into the drapes as Minjun entered with a lean associate oblivious at first. "Victor Hale's pushing into our Bronx docks." The associate switched to English, voice tense. "Thinks you've softened." Minjun's laugh rumbled low, devoid of humor. "Let him, makes the trap sweeter." He halted abruptly. "Someone's here." Nia's pulse thundered. She turned slowly, eyes downcast. Supplies clutched like a shield, facing Minjun directly for the first time. Taller than rumors suggested, sharp jaw shadowed by faint stubble, black hair artfully tousled, white Oxford unbuttoned to reveal corded muscle and intricate Hangul tattoo snaking his neck. Power rolled off him palpably. "Apologies, Mr. Kang. I'll return later," she murmured, gathering her kit. But her ribs ignited as she bent, wrenching a sharp hiss she couldn't fully stifle. Silence crashed down, thick and assessing. When Nia dared glance up, Minjun's dark eyes pinned her, jaw set, something feral flickering. "You're the new hire," he stated flatly. "Nia Reynolds, sir. 2 weeks." She straightened through agony, echoing her late father's mantra. Never show breakage. "Injured. Not a query. Observation. Minor mishap, sir. Won't impact duties." His associate, sharper-faced, younger, shot a loaded glance. "O'Neill, give us space." Minjun dismissed coolly. The door clicked shut, leaving her caged with the syndicate kingpin who had clocked her secret. Flight instinct screamed, but she needed this paycheck desperately. "Look at me, Ms. Reynolds." She obeyed, tracing the jaw scar, the unblinking intensity. "Who did this?" Soft thunder edged with violence. "No one. Accident." "Don't insult me. I've catalogued worse than fists from accidents." He advanced. She held ground. "X. Ended it. Needed escape, this job, for my son. Please don't terminate me." "Terminate? Absurd." Genuine bafflement, then fury, not at her, for her. "Safe? Your boy." The query shattered defenses. "Yes, Marcus doesn't know our spot." Minjun nodded decisively. "Dr. Su Jin arrives tomorrow, 9 sharp. You'll see her, my dime. Report threats to security. Clear?" Stunned, Nia whispered assent. "Kai's 7. Watch by my sister." "Good. Leave at 5 today. And Ms. Reynolds, you're safe here. My domain means protection." She believed him utterly. As Nia exited, shaking, reality warped. Seeking shadows, she found a man who pierced them, spotting wounds hidden from all. Dr. Su Jin confirmed cracked ribs next morning in a guest room, prescribing rest, wraps, meds, no lifting 4 weeks. Nia panicked over lost wages, but Minjun materialized. Light duty, inventory, files, full pay. Gratitude choked her. No one had shouldered her burdens so. Security upgraded too. "He won't breach lobby," he vowed, vanishing. Hope flickered dangerously amid healing pain. Over the following 2 weeks, Nia discovered that Minjun Kang's version of light duty meant orbiting the penthouse's most personal spaces, areas where he inevitably appeared like clockwork. When she organized contracts in the den, he sat across the desk, flipping through ledgers with focused intensity, occasionally glancing up as if gauging her progress. When she inventoried crystal decanters in the subterranean wine cellar, his footsteps echoed down the spiral staircase as he chose bottles for late-night strategy sessions with his lieutenants. Even in the laundry annex, matching linens under Ji-yon's supervision, he materialized with queries about inventory that staff could have handled. He never lingered for conversation beyond clipped professional exchanges. "Everything in order?" Or "report any issues to Ji-yon." But his presence wrapped around her like a current, making every shift of her healing body feel observed, every shallow breath a potential giveaway. The rib pain had dulled to a manageable ache under Dr. Sujin's care, the bandages providing structure. But Minjun's proximity stirred something more complicated, a mix of wariness and unwelcome warmth that she tried to ignore. It was her third week when fate intervened dramatically. Nia's sister Lena had an unexpected family emergency in the Bronx, leaving no one to watch Kai after school. So Nia brought her 7-year-old son to the penthouse with profuse apologies to Ji-yeon. The head housekeeper, practical and maternal, installed Kai in the staff break room with puzzles, juice boxes, and strict instructions to stay put. But 7-year-old boys operated on curiosity fuel, slipping away like shadows to explore forbidden territory. Nia found him in the library, perched on a leather ottoman amid towering shelves of history tomes and first-edition thrillers, staring up at Minjun Kang with unfiltered awe. Her heart seized. Kai was never supposed to breach the owner's private domain, especially not a child whose very existence tied her to a violent past. But before she could snatch him away, Kai piped up boldly, his small voice slicing the hushed air. "Mister, is this all your books? Mommy says you live like a king here." Minjun, who had been scanning a dossier on rival movements in Queens, lowered the folder slowly, his sharp features easing into something dangerously close to amusement. He descended to one knee, matching Kai's height, forearms resting on powerful thighs as he studied the boy with genuine curiosity rather than irritation. "It is my collection, yes, and you must be." "Kai Reynolds, I'm 7 and 2 months and Mommy cleans for you. She said you're nice 'cause you got her a doctor when she got hurt bad." Kai's earnestness hit like a gut punch. Nia stepped forward, cheeks burning with mortification, ready to bundle him out with 1,000 sorries. But Minjun waved her silent, his dark eyes locking on Kai's. "You're already looking out for her then. That's a man's job well done. Your mother is fortunate." Kai tilted his head, gap-toothed grin fading to seriousness as he pointed at the Hangul tattoo curling elegantly from Minjun's collarbone. "What's that writing? Secret code?" Nia hissed Kai, "Private matters," but Minjun traced the ink thoughtfully, voice softening. "A name from my past. Family, I lost young, someone who taught me strength." Kai nodded sagely. "Family's everything. Mummy says we left the mean guy 'cause real family protects, doesn't punch." The library air thickened instantly. Minjun's posture went rigid, jaw muscle leaping as cold rage flickered in his gaze. His eyes lifted to Nia's over Kai's curls, holding a lethal promise beneath shared pain recognition. She saw he understood fractured homes intimately. Nia tugged Kai gently. "Time for the lounge, baby." But Kai persisted. "You play games? I'm killer at Fortnite?" Minjun's lips twitched, the rarest hint of a smile. "Not video games, but chess in my den. Know the rules?" Kai's face exploded with excitement. "Grandpa started teaching me. But pawns are tricky. 4 o'clock tomorrow then. Homework first, deal?" Both turned expectant eyes to Nia. Outnumbered by hope and that inexplicable pull, she murmured assent. "If no imposition." "None whatsoever," Minjun replied, rising fluidly. As Nia ushered Kai away, she caught Minjun watching from the doorway, expression woven with protectiveness, faint longing, and guarded vulnerability. A manhole cracked open. Chess rituals solidified swiftly. 3 weekly sessions in the den's walnut hush. Kai boosted on a velvet cushion opposite Minjun, tiny fingers plotting night forks, while the boss unpacked strategies with saintly patience, celebrating breakthroughs and dissecting errors gently. Nia hovered nearby, dusting curios or filing maps ostensibly, but transfixed by the scene. Kai absorbing tactics like a sponge, Minjun's severity melting into mentorship, laughter punctuating pawn promotions. One stormy afternoon, as Kai mulled a risky rook lift, he queried innocently, "You win chess 'cause you hide feelings good. Mommy does that when sad." Minjun froze mid-move, fingers tightening on his queen. "Precisely. He rasped after a weighted pause, gaze distant. Survival demands control over what shows. Kai beamed, undeterred. Like Mommy after mean Marcus? She acts tough, even scared. Minjun's stare snapped to Nia across the room, affirming and heated. Your mother embodies courage, Kai, escaping poison to shield you. That's unmatched valor. Nia's throat tightened. She rearranged vases to blink away tears. Then Kai voiced the nightmare. Will Marcus find our new place? Minjun dropped beside the board instantly, hand firm yet tender on Kai's shoulder. Never. You're both mine to guard now, that vow unbreakable. Kai searched his face solemnly. Pinky promise? Minjun hooked fingers, raw emotion surfacing, heart and soul. They resumed play, but Nia knew boundaries had dissolved. Minjun transcended boss status, guardian, father figure, anchor for Kai's fatherless world. His glances her way, possessive, yearning, mirrored her own treacherous heart's tug. If you love this kind of intense, protective mafia romance, where the boss sees through the pain and builds a family from ashes, hit that subscribe button right now. We're pushing for 1.0 subscribers to unlock more epic stories like this. Drop in comments. What's the one promise you'd make to protect your family no matter the cost? Your answers fuel the next tale. 3 weeks unfolded in a fragile, intoxicating rhythm. Marcus long gone to some distant job site under Minjun's invisible pressure. And the constant dread that had shadowed Nia's every step finally receded, like a tide pulling back from shore. Her ribs mended steadily under Dr. Sujin's regimen of check-ins and light stretching, the penthouse's rhythm enveloping her and Kai in a cocoon of stability she had never dared imagine. Chess evolved beyond boards. Minjun introduced Kai to Go strategies on a polished stone set. Simple Korean phrases that delighted the boy, Annyeonghaseyo became his favorite opener, and tales of historical tacticians that sparked wide-eyed wonder. The syndicate boss revealed layers Nia suspected few witnessed, patient explanations of Sun Tzu principles scaled for children, gentle corrections when Kai toppled pieces in excitement, a rare chuckle when the boy declared checkmate prematurely. Nia observed from alcoves, heart swelling at Kai's transformation, confidence blooming, nightmares fading, while stolen moments with Minjun built their own current, lingering eye contact across polished tables, his fingers brushing hers passing a folder, conversations drifting from work logistics to her Harlem roots or his Busan childhood scars. Tension cracked the idle one muggy Monday. Ji-yeon drew Nia aside in the kitchen corridor, face etched with rare unease. Mr. Kang got word from Victor Hale last night. Trouble brewing, staff confined to East Wing today. Take Kai home early. Nia's pulse spiked. What trouble stalked a man like Minjun? Before she could gather their things, O'Neill materialized, expression granite. Miss Reynolds, Mr. Kang needs you and the boy in his office, now. Dread coiled tight as she fetched Kai from puzzles, half dragging him through opulent halls, pulsing with undercurrent menace. In the office waited Minjun, flanked by 3 stone-faced Koreans in obsidian suits, air thick with threat. But his demeanor shifted instantly upon seeing Kai, softening to that private warmth. Kai, O'Neill takes you somewhere secure. Be brave for me. The boy clutched Nia's leg, eyes huge. Chess later. Promise, but trust O'Neill. He'd die before failing you. Kai hugged Minjun fiercely. Stay safe, okay? Before O'Neill led him out, door sealing the adults in charged silence, Minjun's mask dropped, replaced by the syndicate predator. Victor Hale knows about you and Kai. Nia's world tilted. How? A mole in my circle, your leverage now, high-value targets. Rapid Korean erupted with his lieutenants, voices rising in tactical debate until Minjun silenced them with a slashed hand. Safe house protocol, they're moving tonight. The men nodded, dispersing like smoke. Alone, Minjun crossed to her, hands framing her face gently despite the storm in his eyes. "I never meant to pull you into this darkness." She pressed into his touch, steady despite fear. "We're stronger together." His forehead met hers, breath ragged. "Danger follows me. Hale's ruthless, uses family as weapons, then fights smarter. For Kai. For us." Resolve hardened his features. "Done. But if anything happens, it won't. Go." He kissed her then, not tentative, but claiming, desperate, lips searing against hers as hands tangled in hair and waist, the world narrowing to heartbeat thunder and shared breath. "Mine," he growled against her mouth. "Always," she vowed, fingers tracing his tattoo. O'Neill knocked. Time. They parted, charged promises lingering. That night, O'Neill's black SUV whisked Nia and Kai to a fortified brownstone in Westchester, security teams shadowing, while Minjun vanished into the night. Days blurred into fortified routine, Kai adapting with puzzles and virtual lessons, Nia pacing with worry, phone silent. Then, late third night, the door burst open. Minjun, shirt bloodied but wounds superficial, feral triumph blazing. "Hale's finished. No more threats." Kai launched into his arms. Nia followed, tears mixing with relief kisses. "How?" "Personally. He won't hurt anyone again." The confession hung heavy, but she cupped his scarred face. "Thank you for our safety." Minjun carried Kai to bed, then turned to Nia in the shadowed living room, vulnerability cracking through. "This life, it devours softness. I swore no attachments after my sister. Angle ink burned vivid reminder. But you rebuilt me." She traced it. "We rebuild together." Passion reignited, clothes shed in fevered trail to bedroom, bodies joining with urgent need, his dominance tempered by reverence, her surrender laced with fire. Afterward, tangled in sheets, he murmured plans. Permanent security, legit business pivot, family future. Dawn found them entwined, Kai's laughter echoing from kitchen as Minjun flipped pancakes. A syndicate king turned protector, walls crumbling. 6 months later, the penthouse felt like home, not fortress. Kai called Minjun Appa, unprompted during chess, beams splitting the man's face. Nia wore no sleeves, bruises myth, ring glinting on finger. Victor's empire crumbled. Minjun's legit ventures soared. One evening, skyline aglow, Minjun knelt. "Marry me, build forever." "Yes," she breathed, Kai cheering. From shattered flute to unbreakable vows, pain forged family none expected, but all cherished. The fragile peace shattered on a sweltering Thursday evening as the sun bled orange across the Hudson River, casting long shadows through the penthouse's floor-to-ceiling windows. Nia was in the staff lounge, slipping her son's backpack over one shoulder and gathering her purse, her ribs now healed enough for normal movement, but still a quiet reminder of vulnerability conquered when O'Neill appeared in the doorway like a spectre. His typically stoic face carried a rare edge of urgency. Lines etched deeper around his mouth and eyes, the subtle signal that hierarchies above even Minjun Kang were flexing with imminent violence. "Ms. Reynolds," he said, voice low and clipped, "Mr. Kang requires you in the study. Now." The corridor walk felt like a condemned march, each step amplifying the drumbeat of dread in her chest. What infraction had she committed? What boundary crossed with Kai's chess lessons? What threat to the delicate balance she had only just begun to trust? When she pushed open the heavy oak door to the study, Minjun stood at his expansive desk, back turned to her, broad shoulders squared under a charcoal Henley that clung to muscled contours. The cityscape beyond him, a roiling canvas of twilight storm clouds. "Close the door behind you," he directed without pivoting, his tone deceptively even but threaded with controlled fury that raised the hairs on her arms. She complied, the soft latch click amplifying the sudden isolation, sealing them into a space thick with unspoken peril. When he finally turned, raw anger simmered just beneath his composed surface, radiating palpably as he lifted his phone, screen illuminated with grainy lobby security footage. A man lurched against the revolving doors below, unkempt beard, wild eyes flashing desperation, fists pounding at impassive guards while shouting incoherently. Naya's blood froze solid. She recognized that feral posture, the aggressive tilt of shoulders, the spittle-flecked rage that had haunted her nightmares for weeks. "Marcus," she breathed, the name tasting like ash. Memories crashing back, shattered lamps in their old apartment, her body crumpling against kitchen cabinets, Kai's muffled sobs from the closet where she had hidden him. Minjun's grip tightened on the device until his knuckles blanched. "He's been down there 25 minutes screaming that you stole his cash, that Kai belongs to him, that you're his property. He shoved my security team, tried breaching the lobby." His voice remained lethally measured, but his dark eyes burned with a protectiveness that buckled her knees, a promise of retribution veiled in restraint. Terror surged. She had imported this poison into his pristine domain, jeopardized the sanctuary with her baggage. "I'm sorry beyond words," she choked, edging toward escape. "I'll quit immediately, vanish tonight, shield you from this mess." He devoured the distance in 4 fluid strides, his presence towering yet anchoring rather than oppressive, one hand gently but firmly guiding her elbow to the leather guest chair. "Sit down, Naya." The first use of her given name in his deep timbre sent an involuntary shiver through her, fear warring with something warmer amid crisis. She collapsed into the seat, limbs unsteady as he leaned against the desk's edge before her, arms folded across his chest, studying her with unflinching intensity that stripped away pretense. From the beginning, every detail. The command carried quiet authority, and beneath that piercing regard, defenses crumbled. The story poured forth unfiltered, meeting Marcus 2 years post her husband's fatal construction accident, his initial charm masking creeping control. Phone checks, isolation from friends, arguments escalating to shoves, then closed fist blows rationalized as passion. The breaking point 3 weeks prior, ribs fracturing under his whiskey-fueled fury when she announced leaving for this job, his slurred vows to hunt her down. The midnight flight with Kai to a shelter, agency placement here under false pretenses. "He spared Kai physical hits," she finished, voice fracturing, "but witnessing. That's scar enough. Kids deserve love without terror." Minjun's features had progressively darkened, jaw locked so fiercely the old scar whitened, murder glinting raw when she detailed the ER lies. He stalked to the window, silhouette etched against glittering lights, then wheeled back. "I'd erase him," he confessed hoarsely, words stark in the opulent quiet. "Ensure he never breathes near you or Kai again." The admission chilled logically. This man orchestrated disappearances, but ignited fierce gratitude instead. No one had raged for her justice before. "Yet I won't that way," he added, sinking to crouch eye level, his aura a bulwark. "Safety first, permanent. Dawn brings signed papers. Full custody yours, ironclad restraining order, relocation job in Nevada. He'll evaporate." "How can you promise?" she whispered, sensing his dominion's reach. His grin turned predatory chill. "Obstacles dissolve under my hand, Nia. Trust the process." Vulnerability pierced his armor as he scanned her face. "Why invest in us?" she probed softly. His palm rose toward her cheek, hovering before retreating. "Protection pledged. Kai awakens purpose I buried. You." Voice lowered intimately. "Survivor grace humbles my world. Can't disengage." Electricity crackled. She clasped his hand. "I trust fully, Minjun." Relief gilded his gaze. Rising, he extended aid. Her fingers met his, enveloped in steady warmth. "O'Neill escorts you home. Building surveilled round clock. My cell. Direct line." The card slipped into her palm, thumb lingering caressingly. Kai's distant call shattered intimacy. "Mom!" Reluctant release, fingertips trailing. "To your son. This ends tonight." Next dawn, penthouse thrummed taut, staff darting glances toward Minjun's quarters. Ji-yeon cornered Nia discreetly. "Boss out till 3 a.m. O'Neill confirms resolved." Probing stare. "Lobby intruder?" Nia deflected. Ji-yeon pressed no further. "Study 10 sharp." Minjun awaited disheveled, shirt creased, stubble shadowing, exhaustion ringed eyes, yet victory gleamed. Accomplished. Marcus inked custody waiver, perpetual restraint, Vegas pipeline work, highly incentivized. Nia's stance wavered, his arms steadied. Liberated utterly. Tears cascaded unchecked. "Gratitude eternal," she gasped. Thumbs swept saline trails, cradling her visage tenderly. "Fear extinct, Nia." Reciprocation deepened. "Why such grace?" His caress traced jawline. "You merit tenderness. Kai merits witnessing reverence. I'm—" Hesitation yielded confession. "Irrevocably yours both." Pulse thundered. "Embrace it." Foreheads conjoined, exhales intertwining. "You unmake me," he breathed. "Precisely," she countered. Kai's cheer pierced. "Early chess, Mom." Laughter parting them, palm reluctant at her waist. 3 weeks wove a delicate tapestry of normalcy in the penthouse. Marcus vanished into Nevada's construction dust under Minjun's unseen leverage, and the omnipresent fear that had dogged Nia's footsteps for months finally ebbed like a receding storm. Her ribs knit fully under Dr. Soo-jin's meticulous follow-ups and prescribed mobility exercises. The penthouse's cadence wrapping her and Kai in an embrace of security she had scarcely dreamed possible. Chess lessons blossomed into richer rituals. Minjun unveiling intricate go-boards with polished river stones, teaching Kai basic Korean greetings that the boy mangled adorably, komawa for gomawo, and spinning yarns of ancient warlords whose cunning mirrored modern boardroom battles. The syndicate leader peeled back facets Nia doubted anyone else glimpsed. Infinite patience unpacking pin maneuvers for tiny hands, soft rebukes when Kai sacrificed queens recklessly, a gravelly laugh rumbling when the child crowed, "King me!" prematurely. Nia lingered in doorways, chest aching with bittersweet joy at Kai's metamorphosis, shoulders squared with budding assurance. Bedtime terrors supplanted by excited recaps, while their own interplay deepened, eyes locking across mahogany surfaces, knuckles grazing over shared clipboards, dialogues meandering from linen counts to her Harlem block parties or his orphaned Busan adolescence etched in tattooed memory, the idyll fractured one oppressive Monday morning. Ji-yeon tugged Nia into the pantry shadows, features taut with uncharacteristic alarm. Victor Hale messaged Mr. Kang overnight, serious heat rising. "Staff locked to service areas today. Get Kai out early." Nia's arteries iced over. What heat menaced a titan like Minjun? Before bundling their belongings, O'Neill ghosted into view, countenance hewn from granite. "Ms. Reynolds, Mr. Kang summons you and Kai to the office. Urgent." Viscera nodded as she retrieved Kai from his coloring marathon, towing him through gilded corridors, humming with latent peril. The study harbored Minjun, ringed by 3 iron-jawed Koreans in midnight silk, atmosphere viscous with menace. Yet his visage thawed upon Kai's entrance, kindling that hidden tenderness. "Kai, O'Neill escorts you to safety. Show your courage." The boy clung to Nia's thigh, gaze saucer-wide. "Chess after? Sworn? O'Neill's my brother in arms. He'd forfeit life for yours." Kai crushed Minjun in a bear hug. "Don't get hurt!" Trailing O'Neill out, door thudding like a vault seal. Minjun's veneer sloughed away, unveiling the underworld apex predator. Victor Hale's aware of you and Kai. Nia's reality upended. Impossible. How? Traitor in ranks. You're now prized leverage. Prime targets. Frenzied Korean volleyed among lieutenants, stratagems clashing until Minjun chopped air for quiet. Safe house activation, extraction tonight. The trio evaporated. Solitary, Minjun bridged to her, palms cupping her cheeks with reverence amid ocular tempest. Never intended dragging you into abyss. She leaned into solace. Unity fortifies us. Foreheads fused, respiration jagged. My shadow devours light. Hale wields kin as blades. Outmaneuver, for Kai, us. Iron bloomed in his stance. Affirmative, but should harm befall, it shan't prevail. Lips crashed then, fierce, possessive, desperation fueling as fingers knotted curls and hips, universe contracting to pounding pulses and fused exhales. Mine eternally, he rasped into her mouth. Utterly, she pledged, nails raking tattooed neck. O'Neill rapped, departure. They sundered, vows electrified. Dusk ferried Nia and Kai via O'Neill's armoured escalade to a steel-shuttered Gramercy Park townhouse, shadows of patrols omnipresent, Minjun dissolving into nocturnal fray. Isolation gnawed, Kai gamely tackling tablets and board games, Nia pacing casement windows, comms mute. Fourth Eve's witching hour, portal flew wide. Minjun, Henley gore-streaked, but lacerations shallow, exultant ferocity alight. Hale terminated, threats nullified. Kai vaulted into embrace. Nia melded after, saline mingling fervent presses. Details. Hands-on, no sequels. Weight settled, yet she framed his battle-scarred jaw. Our salvation, priceless. Minjun tucked Kai into nest, pivoting to Nia amid dim hearthglow, armor fracturing. This realm consumes vulnerability, vowed solitude post-sister's loss. Ink pulsed poignant memorial, you resurrected purpose. She feathered script, collective renewal. Flame rekindled, garments strewn in urgent path to chamber, forms entwining with primal reverence, his command-laced devotion, her yielding spiced defiance. Post-climax tangle, he charted horizons. Ironclad detail, syndicate divestment to ventures clean, lineage legacy. Aurora bathed them interlaced, Kai's glee resounding from galley as Minjun manned griddle, a dawn reborn paternal, fortifications yielding. If this gripping saga of a Mafia boss shielding his maid and her son from shadows has your heart racing, smash subscribe now. We're charging toward 120 subs to unleash more pulse-pounding tales. Comment below, which chess move symbolizes your boldest life gambit? Your stories shape tomorrow's epics. 6 months sculpted the penthouse from citadel to hearth, Kai's innocent upper Minjun during a heated go match, splitting the syndicate lord's stern facade with unbridled joy. Nia's once concealed skin now bare and unmarred, a simple platinum band glinting on her finger, a symbol of vows exchanged in a private Hudson Valley ceremony. Victor Hale's crumbling network fed Minjun's legitimate import-export empire, clean revenue streams washing away old blood money, security reduced from phalanxes to discreet shadows. Evenings blended family tableau, Kai mastering advanced openings under Minjun's tutelage, Nia curating dinners with Korean fusion twists learned from Ji-yeon, laughter echoing where deals once whispered. Yet beneath idyllic surface, Minjun's past lingered like faint ink scars, occasional late-night calls pulling him into boardrooms turned war councils. Nia waking to cold sheets, but warming to his return kisses, scented with resolve rather than violence. Their bond deepened intimately, nights weaving passion with pillow talk of futures. Kai's potential boarding school, her hospitality management courses, his full syndicate exit timeline. One crisp autumn dusk, as Manhattan's leaves burned gold beyond the windows, Minjun gathered them in the library, where Kai's curiosity had first ignited change. The boy, now confidently maneuvering queens across ivory-inlaid boards, looked up from a mid-game stalemate with eyes mirroring Nia's warmth, yet sharpened by Minjun's strategy. "Appa, when I grow up, will I protect like you?" The question hung tender, yet weighty. Minjun knelt, tracing Kai's small hand over the Hangul tattoo, a sister's name, lost to rival knives when he was 17, fueling his ascent from street enforcer to emperor. Protection means wisdom first, son. Chess teaches reading foes, shielding queens. Kai nodded solemnly, then sprang the unexpected. "Can I call you Dad forever, like real family?" Nia's breath caught. Minjun's throat worked visibly, dark eyes glistening as he crushed Kai in embrace. "Forever, my boy. Blood or chosen, you're mine." Nia crossed the room, folding into their huddle, tears tracing joy's path. This shattered crystal to sacred circle, transcended romance into legacy. Minjun rose, drawing her close, lips brushing temple. "From your tremble that first day, I knew fate shifted. You healed this empire's king." She smiled against his chest. "We crowned each other." Kai wriggled free for cake demands, leaving them swaying to phantom music, hands linked over shared heartbeat. Outside, the city thrummed, indifferent, but within these walls, pain had forged unbreakable alloy. Maid, boss, child melding into family, none foresaw, yet all embraced wholly, yet shadows never fully retreated. Whispers reached Minjun of a hale remnant plotting petty revenge, a low-level courier sniffing old trails. He handled it surgically, anonymous tip routing the threat to federal stings, no fingerprints back to his door. Nia learned later over wine, his candor a gift. "No more ghosts," he vowed, toasting her steady gaze. "Our story writes clean chapters now." Kai burst in. Chess trophy clutched from junior tourney, first place, dedicated to my dad who taught checkmate and heart. Pride swelled collective. Minjun's arm anchored them, tattoo gleaming under lamplight. From Harlem, struggles to skyline sovereignty, vulnerability birthed victory. If this tale of redemption from pained maid to Mafia queen stirs your soul, smash that subscribe button right now. We're sprinting to 1,000 subscribers to deliver more transformative romances weekly. Drop in comments. What's the scar that shaped your greatest strength? Your truths inspire our next masterpiece. Share boldly. 1 year later, the penthouse had fully transformed into a living testament of resilience and renewal. With Kai now 8 years old and dominating intermediate chess tournaments across the tri-state area, his laughter mingling seamlessly with the clink of fine crystal during family dinners that blended soul food staples with authentic Korean banchan, prepared side by side in the state-of-the-art kitchen. Nia had enrolled in online business courses, her confidence blooming as she managed the household staff with Ji-yeon's mentorship, while Minjun orchestrated the final divestment of his underground interests, channeling billions into sustainable shipping lanes and tech startups that bore the family's initials subtly etched into corporate charters. Security remained vigilant but unobtrusive, a far cry from the iron-fisted patrols of old. And date nights found the couple escaping to private rooftop gardens or quiet jazz clubs in Harlem, where Minjun marveled at Nia's effortless grace among her roots, his hand never leaving the small of her back, as if anchoring himself to her light. Their intimacy had evolved into something profound, mornings tangled in silk sheets, whispering dreams, evenings where he traced her once bruised skin with reverent fingers, affirming the miracle of their union against all odds. Yet the past occasionally whispered reminders of hard-won peace. A routine threat assessment uncovered a distant Hale associate attempting to peddle fabricated scandals online, but Minjun's legal team dismantled it overnight with restraining orders and defamation suits. turning the attack into free publicity for his philanthropy arm funding domestic violence shelters across New York, ironically named after the woman who had cracked his armored heart. Nia stood beside him at the ribbon cutting for the first facility in Brooklyn, her hand in his as cameras flashed, Kai beaming proudly in a tiny suit, the trio embodying triumph over trauma. From broken glass to building futures, Minjun murmured into her ear amid applause, his breath warm against her skin. She squeezed his fingers, eyes shining. We shattered the cycle together. The true pinnacle came on Kai's birthday, the library transformed into a wonderland of balloons and a custom chess cake towering 3 tiers high. Grandmaster guests mingling with family as the boy opened gifts revealing a trip to Seoul for cultural immersion. Midway through cake, Kai climbed into Minjun's lap, unprompted, wrapping arms around his neck with the solemnity only children master. "Dad, you're the best teacher ever. Thanks for making us safe and happy." Minjun's formidable frame stilled, emotion raw in his gaze as he hugged back fiercely, voice thick. "You gave me family, champion. Every move forward is ours." Nia captured the moment on video, tears blurring the lens, her heart overflowing at the circle completed, from a trembling maid sweeping shards to matriarch of an empire rebuilt on love. As guests departed under starlit skies, the three curled on the oversized sectional, overlooking the twinkling skyline, Kai dozing between them, Minjun's arm draped possessively yet tenderly across both. "Who knew a flinch could rewrite destinies?" he reflected softly, lips brushing Nia's temple. She nestled closer, tracing his tattoo. Fate saw the strength beneath. We claimed the rest. In that sacred quiet, pain's echoes faded entirely, replaced by unbreakable bonds forged in fire. A black maid, Korean Mafia boss, and their son weaving a legacy defying worlds, proving protection born of noticing transforms everything. Hey, beautiful souls who've journeyed through this epic, from shattered crystal to unbreakable family, your support means the world. If this story of a Mafia boss spotting hidden pain and building forever love touched you, hit subscribe and join our growing family. We're so close to 100 subs, and every click unlocks more heartfelt Mafia romances like this. Drop in the comments. Share your own story of overcoming hurt through unexpected protection, or what this tale taught you about second chances. Like, share with someone who needs hope today, and let's build this community together. Your voices make magic happen. Thank you for being here.